Microphone? It won't come on? There's a few mics that's not working yet. Yeah, there's a few microphones on this side that's not working. I don't know how many more. Might just double check everybody. Well, everybody check to see if your microphone comes on. There's some that's having...
Test.
Your mic coming on, everyone? Raise your hand if not, and the IT will assist you. It's not coming on? We got one up here as well. Oh, the battery's coming out from the bottom. One up here as well, Nicole. Oh, it's on now. I see that it's on. Yeah. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get underway with this evening's meeting. So at this time, it is 7:03. I call this special call meeting of the March 27, 2025 council meeting of the Seminole Nation General Council to order, and I ask the secretary to call the roll.
Leetta Sampson. Anthony Connolly. John Narkemy. Rena Tiger. Anastasia Pittman. Terry Edwards. Ida Gonzalez. Nancy Fixico. Leon Petit. David Narkemy. Joseph Billy. Dolores Harjo. Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba. Stephanie Lambert. Sina Yeslith. Lottie Cootie. Marilyn Moore. Hinson Lena.
Thank you.
Richmond Larney. Wayne Shaw.
Here.
Tiffany Thunder.
She's asked to be excused for tonight.
Catherine McCoy. Charlie Hill.
Here.
Tommy Chupko.
Here.
Danita Harjo. Willis Dethridge. Desiree Emerton. I have 25 present and 3 absent.
With a count of 25 present and 3 absent, I declare that a quorum has been established. We are now in session. Is that correct, the reading of the minutes, February 15th? Mm-hmm. Okay, reading of the minutes of February 13th, 2025. I think you, yes, prayer. Let's all stand for prayer, and if you don't mind, let's have just a moment of time of reflection. We've had so many of our tribal members that's left this walks of life, and of course, the late long-time pastor, Houston Tiger, so many others as well. So let's just take a moment as a moment of silence, and then I'm going to ask Mr. Willis Dethridge if he'd lead us in prayer.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this day. We thank you, Father, for this opportunity to serve the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. I pray, Father, that it would be a constructive meeting, Lord, and I just ask you, Father, just lay your hands on each and every one of us, Father. Just give us the temperament that we need to discuss the business, Lord, without raising our voices or being hateful or anything else, Lord. I just ask you guys to just continue to watch over us. Thank you for this day, for this opportunity again. Ask you to just be with us as we travel home after a while. In Christ's name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Yes, Representative Larney.
And Honorable General Counsel, good evening. On behalf of the Cheesy Band of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, I see today bring forward a matter of significant importance. The past Tuesday, March 25th, our band met with, and by unanimous vote, directed me, Richmond Larney, General Counsel Representative of the Old Cheesy Band, to formally request the addition of new business today after the agenda. Our purpose is clear. We are requesting this opportunity to enter the executive session during the meeting to address serious concerns regarding the operations of the Seminole Division of Commerce. Let me speak plainly. Our band is deeply concerned about how the Division of Commerce is handling its finances, its budgeting, and overall management. These concerns are not based on a rumor or speculation, but on patterns that suggest a need for closer examination. I make this motion. I ask for a second.
Second.
Is there any objection? I know we're in a special call meeting. Any objection to it? And we should add that to other business at the end of the agenda. That's the proper place to put it, is under other business. Any objection to add what Representative Larney said, under other business? If not, then we'll be placing that under other business. I do want to share that the REAP grant was approved. That was Caben Smallwood's presentation that he brought. Obviously, we all realize that executive orders came down from the executive department within the government of the United States through the President's office. It did affect it to some extent, but he did get some response that, it's possible that one's going to be able to continue on. There's a lot of changes at that level, as we know, when we're talking about certain grants or new grants or that type of thing. He will be here on the tax credits, and if the council would, on the area of the REAP and the large aquaponics 50,000 square foot expansion, wouldn't mind him at least updating us on that under other business. That would be good as well. Is there any objections to that? I see none. So those two items we'll put under other business, what Representative Larney spoke of, and then also that particular business I just discussed about Dr. Smallwood. Okay, now for the reading of the minutes of the last meeting, February 13th, 2025. Obviously, that wasn't the last meeting, but that's the date of the minutes that's before you this evening. What's the desire of the council?
Make motion to approve the minutes of February 13th.
There's a motion to approve by Representative Gonzalez. I've seen Representative Fulbright's hand. That's a second. Any corrections, comments? I see none. Secretary, call the roll. This is for the approval of the reading of the minutes of February 13, 2025.
Anthony Connolly. Yes. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
Yes.
Terry Edwards.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy. Delois Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yeslith.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emberton.
Yes.
I have 23 yeses, 0 nos, 2 abstain.
With a count of 23 yes, 0 no's, 2 abstentions, I declare that the February 13th, 2025 meeting has been approved, the minutes of that meeting. Unfinished business, TO 2025-04, introduced by Representative Fulbright.
I want to keep that table tonight.
TO 2025-04,
2504,
not to bring it off the floor, okay. TR 2025-05 says to be withdrawn on the council floor. It has to be done by a council representative. TR 2025-05, is that Anastasia, Representative Pittman and Representative Gonzalez, your names on that?
Yes, I'd like to withdraw that resolution.
Okay, Representative Gonzalez, one of the sponsors, wants to withdraw TR 2025-05. Reports of committees, none at this time. We're under new business at this time. TR 2025-16, introduced by the Finance Committee. TR 2025-16.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We would like to introduce TR 2516, which is a tribal resolution for the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, approving the budget modification for tribal courts and the incorporation of said budget for the FY 2024 comprehensive budget, authorizing appropriations. I move adoption and ask for a second.
Second.
There's been motion by Representative Gonzalez, seconded by, motion by Representative Pittman, seconded by Representative Gonzalez. We're in discussion. This is TR 2025-16. Representative Dethridge,
Yes, ma'am. Can I direct the question to her?
you can, or tribal court is also here.
This tribal court received the funding availability. When did they receive it? And do we have $207,964 in the bank, or is it something that could be frozen by the federal government?
We'd like to yield to tribal court.
Judge Barnes, are you here? I've seen you earlier. Sharon? Not Sharon, but Linda? Are we sure the mic up front's working? I mean, is it turned on? Okay, make sure that mic's on and speak into the mic, please. You can take it off the stand if you'd like. Is there a switch on this mic that needs to be, well, it needs to be turned up? Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, turn it up just a little bit more. I can hear it, but.
Okay, Linda Stewart, Tribal Court.
Representative Dethridge had the question.
Tribal court received notice of funding availability. When did you receive this notice of funding availability? And do we have $207,964 in the bank?
Yes, we received it probably about a month ago. This is it was formerly called the McGirt funding, but now it's actually part of our base funding that we received from the Bureau of Indian Affairs.
And so we did receive this money?
Yes,
Okay. That's my question. Thank you.
Any other questions for tribal court and TR 2025-16? Representative Dethridge.
Chair, I have to some notes here, but I know that we're fixing to ask them about the fund. You know what the fund means? Can you expound on that, so I won't have to ask a question after a while about the fund?
Okay. The fund for the new budget that's also on the agenda is actually the court fund that is set up as, you know, per the code. And what it is that's where we deposit all of our fines and fees, court costs and things like that. And so right now, the code reads that it can only be spent for specific things. And so salaries was not mentioned, so we want to include salaries, and that's where those monies will come from, is money that's derived from the court for the fees that we take in.
You currently have $242,368 in the fund?
No, we have more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know the current balance today. The last time we looked, it was like 360,000, so it's probably more than that now.
And that's been accumulated over how long a period of time?
Well, we've had that from the beginning. It's just that, you know, we didn't take in a whole lot, but now we take in quite a bit more now that we have traffic. You know, we have a traffic docket that we're collecting on, so we're collecting a lot more nowadays than we did in the past.
Okay, my question is this then. If we've got $242,000 basically seed money, then are we going to deplete that with the additions of these other employees and
No, we won't deplete it. No,
Okay.
that's just a portion of it. And, you know, that's mainly what we're asking for, is it says essential staff as needed. So we just want to be able to use that money if we need to, you know, in order to keep essential staff, but it's not something that we would do on just a regular basis.
Thank you very much.
Just for clarification purposes, you said from the beginning. Can you expound on that?
Well, from the inception of the court, when they started the court,
2011.
2011.
Okay,
that's when
thank
it
you.
was set up. Mhm.
Any other questions for tribal court? We're on 2025, TR 2025-16. Representative Billy?
My question is, and I'll ask this question, is the two additional positions, does our caseload justify those positions?
Yes, these are actually employees that we currently have. And, you know, when we had the ARPA money, we were able to carry everybody. So now we're looking for other ways to be able to maintain the staff that we have. So we definitely have the caseload and the work for them.
Yes, ma'am. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
I see Representative Pittman, then Representative Petit.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to see if we can make a motion or a recommendation to do both of these together, since we are discussing 17 prior to voting.
Well, right now, there's a motion on the floor for TR 2025-16.
16. But we've been discussing 17 too. So that's where the questions were coming from.
That's true, but there's still a motion and second on the floor. If the one who made the motion and the second wants to redefine it as trying to address both of these court resolutions, 225-16, 2025-17, is that what the original motion folks want to do?
Yes, I make a motion to, or a second to your motion to add 2025-17 to this. We have already discussed it.
Okay, the clarification of this motion is they want to vote on both at the same time. That's TR 2025-16, TR 2025-17. Any objections to that? If there's no objections, we will vote on both of them at the same time. If there's an objection, you need to raise it now. I see no hands. Any other questions, either one of these resolutions? Representative Petit?
Yes, Chair, I just wanted to clarify, I think the numbers on the March 7th report were 361, 672.50. So is that, you said it was traffic fines, or are there any other funds that come into that other than the traffic fines?
All of our filing fees, whenever they file new cases, civil cases, all of our court costs, you know, that come from the criminal cases, all of those that come in go into that fund.
Okay, so basically since the beginning, it's accumulated over $119,000, basically $120,000. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, I see no further questions, no hands risen. Secretary, call the roll. This is for the combined tribal resolutions of TR 2025-16 and TR 2025-17.
Anthony Conley. Yes. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
Yes.
Terry Edwards.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Dolores Harjo.
Yes.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Sina Yesley.
No.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 23 yeses, 2 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 23 yes, 2 noes, and 0 abstentions, I declare that the tribal resolutions of 2025-16 and TR 2025-17 to have passed. Thank you, Tribal Court, and if you haven't been down to Tribal Court just to see the improvements at Tribal Court, I would suggest when you're in the Wewoka area, just take a walk through, Judge and Linda. It's looking good down there. I know it's a lot more comfortable now than it's ever been since the court came back into existence in 2011. Thank you. While they're walking off, the case we discussed that came against the Seminole Nation was dismissed in court, so that case was dismissed, and we all talked about it in executive session, I believe. TR 2025-18, introduced by the Finance Committee.
TR 2025-18, a tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, approving the budget of the Seminole Nation Tribal Employment Rights Office, TERO, for funding received from the collection of TERO fees, incorporation of said budget into the fiscal year 2025 comprehensive budget, and authorizing appropriation. I make a motion to approve and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion approved by Representative Gonzalez and seconded by Representative Pittman. This is TR 2025-18. Discussion? Representative Shaw, then Representative Billy.
First off, you can't do that according to your own personnel laws and your step raises and stuff. You better read that little law that we got in there that says you gotta be in a certain position for so long before you can get a raise. And we don't have, you got personnel here to verify that individual has been in that long. And then why are we as gonna break our own laws to give them, if you look at it, that's 4 years. 4 years in a row. What if she's gone tomorrow? So the next person comes in and gets the same treatment. I think that's why we have a law on the books, so we can evaluate, reevaluate these employees as we go. As it is right now, our band would have to say no on the ground that we're breaking our own law.
The Finance Committee always is the oversight to make sure that the wages and the scales are there when they're presented in a budget. Does the Finance Committee representatives on this council have anything to say, according to Representative Gonzalez?
Yes, I'd like to address Representative Shaw's question. This individual
a job description, and the job that that person is now in is being elevated due to a salary increase due to the job description being elevated to a G10-3. So they're being raised based on the new position. So they're being raised to a new position, therefore.
But for the next 4 years?
No, that only goes if you stay within your range. This person has been moved up a step, so therefore, it starts all over, and she's starting at 10-3.
I can't see it, so, like I said, we're giving her 4 years.
If she was in that same position, yes.
Well, in the position that she's in, you're still saying the same thing. We're still giving her 4 years, because this council says it's so. You better look at it and read it pretty close. I don't think y'all look hard enough, as far as I'm concerned, but
Please make sure your mics are on so that not only everyone here in the, on the council floor can hear, but the folks in the gallery and those that are listening via YouTube. So make sure that your mics are on when you're speaking.
but I think y'all all ought to better look at that pretty close, because you're breaking your own law.
Okay, Finance Committee did answer that question. I saw Representative Hill, then Representative Billy, did I call on you after Representative Shaw? Okay, it'll be Representative Billy, then Representative Hill, then Representative Larney, in that order.
Our question is, the problem is, it's not working. No. Okay, yeah. Thank you. The question is, there's only a few more months before the budgets come out. Why shouldn't we just wait until the new budget comes out in September? Why are we doing raises in the middle of the year? On that's one thing. And again, the question was in reference to time in the position and the stair steps on as far as the raises go per year. And then again, I was asked to, did this not get voted down this last council meeting? Didn't it not lose 13 to 14? Why is it being brought up again? Is it because you wrote something different in there?
I think that's how new business in context sometimes is introduced, if there's something different within the actual presented resolution. It has been the desire of the council for decades now that TERO would be able to get the fees up to the point where they can help fund their own budget. Obviously, over the course of 10 years, was how I understand is that 10 years, it was about $80,000 collected in 10 years. But in the short time, of course, we have a lot of contract work going on. She was able to bring in, over $100,000 plus, and we'll continue to do that with additional contracts that's going to be that are forthcoming and in process as we speak here within the Seminole Nation.
Yeah, but in reference to that, you mean ARPA brought that money in, not her herself?
No, what happens is the TERO office, obviously with any contracts that come in, I mean, she wouldn't be over contracts anyway, obviously, within the Seminole Nation, but any monies that come in, it does take the officer to be able to be at those meetings wherever contracts are being discussed once that they are awarded, and to and try to get everybody TERO certified so that fees can be collected. You yield the floor,
Yeah,
Representative Hill, then Representative Larney.
Share first about the director here from TERO.
I don't believe she's here tonight. I know that she said that, of course, she's the president of the National Johnson O'Malley as well, and they had some kind of function tonight, I think.
Well, first of all, seems like y'all seem to know all the answers, so she won't have to be here. First of all, I wanted to ask her, did she meet her qualification when she was assigned as a director for TERO? A degree, I understand she didn't have one. And second of all, you answered the question pertaining to her recent trip to DC on JOM, okay? My third question is this. I've been told this past 2 weeks, she has not been in her office and all that. People's been looking for her and all that. And here, y'all sit here and talk about a pay raise, how much 100,000, whatever, brought in. How can she do her job and still get paid and get a pay raise when she's not in her office and there's people out there waiting to see her, wanting to see her? And what gives? So what that entails is the fact that you could be a director in any department, and if you don't want to come to work, you don't come to work, you still get paid, and then not only that, you get a pay raise.
I've seen her the last week several times.
You don't have seen her in and out of complex, but up here daily, she's got a position 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, and not only that, the hours should be 8 to 5, and then sometimes she's going to 2 to 3 hours for lunch, or taking off, nobody knows. They keep calling me and asking me, where is she? We need to see her on that. I said, I can't answer the question, but I would be more than happy to bring it up. So here I am bringing it up. Y'all think about it.
Representative Larney?
My concern is that construction is only going to go so far with the new administration of the Trump administration. We're going to have to watch a lot of budget cuts. We need to watch out for all those, because back in December, on the minutes, I believe it's page 39, 36 to 39, mentioned that didn't have enough money to hire an extra help for like an inspector to help her with the projects. So right now, I could see this money being used for maybe an inspector to help delegate some of these projects that are going on, because it's very important, because in my understanding of what I've been investigating a little bit, some contractors haven't even paid their TERO fees. So it's kind of hard, because with the budgets going on, with the new administration in and stuff like that, we got to be very smart on how we use that money, because we're not probably going to have that much money coming in as much anymore. I yield the floor.
Okay, we're still on TR 2025-18. If there's no other questions, there's been a motion and a second. Representative Narkami, Chiaha.
I just had a question for this 4-year raise. Is it just the maintenance? I mean, is it the same $2.35 every year, or is it compounded? First year, a raise of $2.35 or whatever. Then the next year, $2.35 added to that, and then the third year, $2.35 added to that, and then the fourth year, $2.35 added to that, or is it just a straight?
Said it was straight. Finance Committee?
It is $2.35 each year. Is that what you're referring to?
So it's compounding every year?
Yes.
Thank you.
And just a clarity, Representative Gonzalez, he said it's compounding every year. Is that correct to your understanding of it?
Yes.
Okay, just wanted clarification. TR 2025-18, any other, Representative Petit?
Yes, Chair. In doing kind of some of my research, I saw where, I guess, the 2025, the federal government's reevaluating the GS schedules and stuff, and kind of similar to what Representative Billy has said. Could this not wait till we approve another budget and then increase it at that time, if that's what is warranted per the new GS findings? Because, I mean, that's what they've listed here lately, is that there's going to be a rescheduling of those in 2025. So I think that study started in January. I'm not sure if they're through with it yet, but that was what I was able to find out.
Okay, I think everybody knows how they're going to vote as far as the band's representatives.
I'll yield.
Thank you, sir. So yes, that statement aligns with Representative Billy's statement as well. TR 2025-18, if there's no other discussion, you want to be called upon, Representative Pittman?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Representative Pittman?
Yes, we'd like to withdraw this and table it at this time.
What do you want to do, Representative Pittman? You want to table it or you want to withdraw it?
We want to table it. We want to table it.
Okay, motion to table has been made. Is there a second? Representative Shaw, second to table. Okay, this is TR 2025-18. Secretary, no discussion on the table. Secretary, call the roll.
Leatta Sampson.
Yes.
Anthony Conley.
Yes.
John Narkemy.
Yes,
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
Yes?
Terry Edwards.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
No.
David Narkemy.
No.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Dolores Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba. Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Sina Yeslith.
No.
Lottie Cootie. Ensign Lena.
No.
Richmond Larney.
No.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko.
No.
Danita Harjo.
No.
Willis Dethridge.
No.
Desiree Emerton.
No.
I have 13 yeses and 13 noes, 0 abstain.
13 and 13, the Finance Committee made the motion to table, and I'll vote yes to table it. Okay, we're on to TR 2025-19. A tribal resolution. The count, according to the council secretary, was 13-13 tie. The chair broke the tie, so it's tabled at 14-13. 14 yes to table, 13 no. Is that correct? Okay, she says, Okay, TR 2025-19. Okay, TR 2025-19. This is a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma approving an application for new market tax credits allocation to be earned on current projects within the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, authorizing applications regarding those credits. Do we have a motion on the floor? I entertain a motion. Okay, motion by Representative Pittman, TR 2025-19. Second, is that Representative Lambert seconded it? Representative Lambert seconded it. So he's passing out some things on this subject matter. And then when he comes to the mic, if you have some questions or some discussion, then we'll be in discussion at that time.
Yeah.
Okay, I think, he didn't get you? Right there, sir. Does anyone else need one? Anyone? Okay. He apologizes for that oversight. Okay, Dr. Smallwood, if you have any questions on this particular motion and second that's been made, you can address Dr. Smallwood at this time.
Yeah, I think if it's okay for 1 second, I'd like to give everybody an explanation about what I just handed out to allow everyone the ability to digest the information. First and foremost, I need to apologize. This information is fresh off the press. So as you'll see on the third page when you get there, this stuff came to us yesterday. So it's taken some time to gather the data, get it put together in a way to disseminate it to you in a way that hopefully makes sense. So to begin, we'll talk about the new market tax credit resolution. To provide some background to council, a new market tax credit is essentially an economic development tool that can be used by individuals, companies, tribes who are in economically depressed areas. So the way that it's measured is by census tract, and the entirety of the Seminole Nation is measured as at least distressed, and a big portion of the Seminole Nation has extremely distressed. So these are the two worst designations that you can have from an economic standpoint. What this does, though, is it opens up opportunities for the tribe. So these new market tax credits are just that. So the way the new market tax credit deal came to be was the tribe was approached by a local bank, Security Bank, who had a tax credit investor, okay? And what the tax credit investor does is they bring cash money to the table to fund projects within the nation, okay? This project is incredibly unique in the fact that it centers around the IHS expansion. That is a very attractive project for tax credit investors because there's a lot of social goodwill that comes with investing in economically deprived areas, but also for the benefit of health for Native populations. Okay? These tax credits are tax credits that have currently been allocated. So that means that they are in the hand of the investor. Okay? If you look up the new market tax credit program, you may find that it might not be around next year, but that has no effect whatsoever on any of the things that I'm bringing to talk to you today about. Essentially, the IHS project in Wewoka is currently fully funded by the tribe. That means that all of the money has already been allocated and set aside through different grants and through different programs for that entire thing to be paid for. Okay? Why that's very important is that essentially means that any tax credits we can secure for the benefit of the tribe, it's free money because it's replacing dollars that you have already allocated. Okay? So I have printed off two different spreadsheets. These spreadsheets are based upon the low end of the potential allocations and the high end of the potential allocations. These are net figures, meaning every cost has been backed out. All legal fees, all accounting, everybody's dog food throughout the entire process, right? Anything that I could think of to back out, it has been backed out. So this would represent the bottom dollar that the Seminole Nation would benefit from this project. And I gave all my copies out, but I believe it was right around $667,000. That would be a net benefit to the tribe by doing nothing other than giving the tribe the ability to enter into the tax credit deal. That first spreadsheet was based upon $6 million worth of tax credit allocation. The second spreadsheet was based upon 15 million tax credit allocation. When we first talked with the tax credit investor, we thought the project was only 6 million, but as we communicated with IHS, we actually found out the project total was 15 million. So I wanted to run the calculation at the 15 million tax credit figure as well to show you the potential high-end figure. And that figure is closer to $2.2 million. And again, I want to stress, this costs the tribe nothing to pursue, and these are dollars that would equate to free money for the tribe. So with that being said, on the tax credit portion, I'll yield to Chief for questions.
Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you. That was the reason why I made the motion, because tax credits are going to benefit the dilapidated areas. My question to you today is, if we are on the high end of the second spreadsheet, and we already have the We Welcome project fully funded, can we use the fully funded project to qualify for the tax credit?
Yes, so that is a 100% reality, okay? A lot of times with these tax credit deals, they are a part of the financing, which means that the person that is doing the construction is relying upon the tax credits for the construction. The Seminole Nation is not, meaning that if this is approved in September, these dollars would be very real dollars in a very real bank account, and they would be available at the very beginning of the project. Now, this is not without hurdle. We still have about 5 steps that we would need to accomplish in between now and then to secure those allocations. But my understanding is this tribal resolution is only giving us the authority to apply for the allocations. So it would be my intention, just like in the past, to get the work done at no charge to the Seminole Nation in order to get this project submitted.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And with the allocations, are we talking about when we do the applications, if fundings are received, are we using a separate appropriations account?
Yeah, so part of the new market tax credit program is that an entity would need to be set up that would house the allocations.
Mr. Chairman, follow up?
You're good.
And would those allocations then come back through the executive department and the finance committee for distribution or appropriations of those fundings?
I can't speak to how the company would be set up because that's outside of my purview. With this, my understanding would be the Attorney General and the Executive Office would have the ability to look at standing up that organization.
Thank you.
Okay, I've seen Representative Lambert, and then we'll go back here. Go ahead.
So, Dr. Smallwood, why is it just the IHS? Why aren't we doing all of our ARPA construction projects in this?
Because the tax credit investor has to have an appetite for the project, and they have to have the tax credits secured in order to be able to allocate them.
Okay.
So
have we considered some of our water, or like our water infrastructure, and some of those other items in the tax credit application as well?
So the tax credit applications are location specific, meaning that they have an address.
So like Wewoka is your priority?
That's not my priority. It was the priority of the investor. And I think that a lot of that has to do with the goodwill, because the way that these investors get allocation is they go and they talk about all the good projects that they're going to do in these areas that need help. So when a tax credit investor can say, I went into the most economically depraved area and I helped expand health services for Native Americans. Those are big check boxes.
Yeah,
So
well, he could say, I've helped, we've helped health services, but we also have our expansion for the wellness center. And we did activities for health, for physical activities, and we've done a lot of, could we try to put that in there as well, or could we try to sell that to them as well to get more money coming back to the nation?
Oh yeah, and I think the way that
water, safe water.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. I think the way that the resolution has been written is that we have the ability to go find the appetite for any project. And it's not just that this one investor would be interested in projects like this. There's many folks that are looking to place their allocations right now.
And if I was a bank, I would be wanting to get the biggest amount to bring more money through my bank, and so.
100%. And if you also see on the transaction cost are close to the same for a $6 million deal or a $15 million deal.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying, why don't we put more into it to get a bigger allocation? Because we've already done these projects, and so
yeah, the goal would be to secure as much as we
Yeah.
possibly could,
Yeah.
yes.
Why limit it to the IHS when we have all these other projects that are on the table? And I believe it's like completed in the last 2 years, is that right? The project had to be completed within the last 2 years. It can't be alcohol-related, golf course, or casino-related.
Correct.
So, we've got a lot of projects that we can throw in there that we've completed in the last 2 years.
Right, so the big hurdle that we have to get over is getting the documentation in place, getting everything in order before the timeline. So what I would do is I would start with the IHS building, push as hard and as fast as I could to get that project done, while simultaneously floating the projects that I can learn about to other investors and this investor as well.
Yeah, I would say let's go for anything we can get, because we need it, or we will need it in the future as well.
Thank you.
Representative Gonzalez.
My question is for the chair. The funds that we're referring to were allocated through the ARPA funding. How is this going to affect the ARPA rules? Because we have to spend that money by the end of next year, but it's already been allocated to IHS. It's been there for a while. So how are we going to get around the rules? If the money is coming back to the tribe, and then we can use it for something else. And, so that's my concern.
Yeah, so there are provisions within the final rule that would allow for this to happen. There are certain things within the performance period. Let's say we charge to rent the arena that was paid for with ARPA funds. As long as those funds roll back into a project, but with this is an application. By the time this is approved, we could be beyond our performance period. And so at that point, it's unrestricted within the current final rule. Yeah. Okay, Representative Dethridge.
Mr. Smallwood, you're here this evening to support this new markets tax credits allocation. And this is the very first step in the process of getting the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma $2,349,200.
On the high end, sir. The low end would be $667,000.
Okay. Okay, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Representative Pittman, and then we're getting close on time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And this is just a clarification. This resolution is just for the application process of it. And really, basically, we need to we need to say that this application is really based upon a project that's already fully funded.
Correct.
And if the investor only wants to do healthcare, that's all they have to do. We would have to seek other investors for water and other infrastructure projects.
Yeah, essentially, everything is in place for us to apply for this, short of the resolution, which grants permission to apply.
Thank you.
Representative Shaw, and then we'll come back to Representative Gonzalez.
Well, I was gonna ask, what part of this will CINDOC play in?
None?
Well, I know, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, there's no language referencing CINDOC in this at all.
Yeah, but the thing is, should they start producing more electricity than we're using here? See, we're capable of selling it to OG&E or?
Yeah, that's correct. It would roll backwards in the meter, basically, and come out as a credit, or you could sell, but.
Yeah, but after that, that's what, I'm looking ahead a little bit.
Yeah, but that's different than what we're talking about right now. That's completely different subject, unrelated to this resolution. No.
But that's commerce.
Yeah.
That's commerce, and the department, it says Seminole Nation Commerce.
That's different topic.
Once we start selling it, it becomes commercial. That's why I'm asking.
This is about tax credits, not about electricity, not about Division of
I
Commerce.
understand what you're saying, and I know what it says.
So you're
but
bringing up a topic that's.
If I take a dime out of your pocket and go spend it over here, you're gonna gripe about it. Well, it's my dime, and I wanna know if at any time will the CINDOC have anything to do with it, because in reality, not a pipe dream, you're gonna be selling electricity, that's unused electricity.
Okay, this resolution is not about electricity. This is about an application
Even
for
if
tax
that-
credits.
I'm looking ahead, like I said, I'm not looking at yesterday or tomorrow morning. I'm looking ahead about a month or two, a year.
Okay, I understand that, but you're off topic. That's different than what we're talking about right now. This is
Off
a,
topic, that's right on point, you know it.
I've not read anything
yield
in
the
this.
floor.
Okay, thank you. Representative Gonzalez, and then we'll come across to Petit, and then we're at time.
Okay, who's going to decide which of these figures we're going to be using?
It will depend on the language in the contract between the Seminole Nation and IHS. My preference is the bigger figure.
Yes, all right, thank you.
Okay, Representative Petit.
Okay, you said Security State Bank is the one that's probably looking to be the investor on this side, is that correct?
They would be the tax credit purchaser, but not the investor, sir. So excuse me if I misspoke. They're the ones that were the impetus behind the original conversation.
Okay, well, like I said, I was just trying to understand who got the tax benefit of that. If the bank got it, because, you know, they have programs where they loan to underprivileged people as far as on home loans, stuff like that, so they can do that business, and that's why I was concerned about, is this right here, is that an avenue that they want to take to us? You know, it helps them also. Right?
Yeah, so basically the way that it would work is because the Seminole Nation has no need for federal tax credits, they would be sold at a discount of 80 cents on the dollar to the bank. That way the bank would get some benefit in the tax credits, but all of that is priced in to those figures.
Okay, right, thank you.
Okay, Secretary, please call the roll.
Leetta Sampson. Anthony Conley. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
Yes.
Terry Edwards.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Pixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
Yes.
Dolores Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yeslith.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Hinson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Yes.
Charlie Hill.
Yes.
Tommy Chupko,
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 26 yeses, 0 nos, 0 abstain.
With a count of 26 yes, 0 no, and 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2025-19 to have passed. And as I heard the discussion, yes, we have discussed all the other projects as well, as long as there's tax credits to be able to be used. Yeah, and like you said, this could be the last year for that with the new administration. We don't know that for sure, but it could be. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
He will
Mr.
be
Chairman.
back under other business, and we can get on that topic of electricity, Representative Shaw. TR 2025-20. Representative Narkami, Fusachi.
I have a tribal resolution of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma authorizing the creation of a nonprofit entity pursuant to the laws of the Seminole Nation and authorizing certain actions to establish such entity. I'll make that motion and ask for a second.
Second.
We have a motion by Representative Narkami and a second by Representative Petit. We're in discussion.
If I may, this issue, of course, is a hot topic. It's a political topic, and I understand that. And I understand that some folks here believe that the Grisso Mansion is not part of the Seminole people's history, but I would have to think differently because the land that the Grisso was built upon was stolen from the Seminole people, and as a result, the Seminole historical land to begin with. Before that, the land was known as even the Grisso Mansion. A brief review of the history of this land is that Doc Grisso acquired the property by marrying a Seminole girl who was approximately 14 or 15 years old. Her name was Suda Fixico Wessel, who died about 6 months later. Many of the Seminole people at the time believed that she was poisoned, while others believed that she was shot. The Seminole Nation purchased the 26-room mansion in June 2012 for $1.4 million from Kenneth and Rose Henderson in advance of a scheduled auction of the property. They did this knowing the personal history of the mansion and what it could mean for the Seminole Nation. To date, the balance on the mansion stands at approximately $522,873.83. The insurance is approximately $26,116.82, and this is from a statement that I found from July 3rd of 2024. The Grisso Mansion was placed up for sale via TR 2019-01. The sale did not happen. The Seminole Nation Council removed the Grisso from sale via TR 2024-38. Volunteers have worked on the mission grounds since June of 2024 for exterior upkeep of the abandoned property, because that's kind of what it is abandoned. During the September 7, 2024 quarterly council meeting, the council voted to establish an advisory committee regarding this property. This non-paying committee was known as the Grisso Mansion Revitalization Advisory Committee. The following representatives were selected to fill this committee. Representative Lottie Cootie, Representative Ann Borba, Representative Desiree Emerton, and myself. Sina Yaplis has also volunteered for personal time to help out as well. We have had manned volunteers for our work days, and this included other council representatives, Seminole Nation tribal members, and local Seminole community members, non-native, along with adult and juvenile court community service members who are able to contribute. And we're asking to establish a nonprofit entity so that we can write for grants to develop monies to help refurbish the mansion and repair a lot of the issues that have been plaguing the mansion, such as the rain leaks, water leaks, roof damage, mold, etc. And that's kind of what we're looking at, is to establish a nonprofit entity separate from the Seminole Nation.
Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative, this resolution is to establish the nonprofit so that we can then start seeking grants to do the revitalization of the Grisso Mansion.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Representative Dethridge.
How many nonprofit entities does the Seminole Nation currently have?
Under the 5013C?
501.
Oh, under 5013C? I'm not aware of any. We do have a few scholarship programs that are considered where they can get a tax write-off if they
So
give to that.
are you saying this basically will be kind of the first?
For revitalization of the mansion, yes, it would be. Yes, sir, it would be the first for the revitalization of the mansion.
The Seminole Nation actually does have a mechanism for people that want to donate. It's not necessarily under nonprofit, but because we're a federally recognized tribe, there is avenues for that through the Treasury, but not to the extent of of what they're speaking of with this resolution. Representative Dethridge still has the floor, then Representative Larney.
If this resolution is approved, who would be in charge of the grant funds that we may, or this entity might get?
I worked for a nonprofit for over 20 years, and when developing a nonprofit, obviously you're going to have all the bylaws and the things that formulate the nonprofit, and then how board members are selected and that kind of thing. So that has to be established. If this was to pass, it would have to be established.
Exactly.
And I would
establish a board. We would establish a board. We would establish a board and bring that back to the council for the board to pass as a board. So that board will be the one to look at the funds and control the funds. But that's not this committee. It would be the board that will come back to the council.
The Seminole Nation has a nonprofit organization called 501c.
Yes, sir. We're establishing the Grisso Mansion as a separate 501c.
And let's say that somebody donated $300,000.
That would be great.
Okay, I see your hands.
Who would be in charge of this $300,000? Would y'all be in charge of it, or this board be in charge of it, or would it come back to the council to appropriate whatever we wanted to use this money for?
Our steps would be to establish a board first, and then that board would then help to control that $350,000. And then the allocation of the funds, then that board would submit a resolution to the council to distribute those funds appropriately.
We'll have the consultation for this general council, allocate all money that money they're giving to this tribe.
Well, exactly, sir. I agree with you 100%. Those funds would come back for approval for the general council. It would probably go through the finance committee as well, too.
Okay, Representative Larney.
So I don't want to rain on nobody's parade or anything, but I still think that the nation can apply for the grants and for the repairs. And again, like I said, there is a new administration here. It's going to be hard. I'm not knocking nobody down. I'm for you trying to get the grants and everything. But also, too, we have a conflict of interest, too, because we have the opiate or the coke program that's giving money to that mansion.
Yes, sir.
So if we do obtain money, are you buying them out, or are you guys going to, because that thing's a mess.
No, I understand what you're saying.
As a
Yes, sir.
general contractor myself, I know that place is a mess.
Yes, sir.
And it takes a lot of upgrades.
100% agreement.
I'm talking in the millions.
Oh, yes.
I'm serious.
Oh, yes.
And that's going to take many, many years. I don't know, because like I said,
It's fallen in such disrepair.
There's 4 years of new administration.
Yeah.
And You could try as much as you can to get grants, but I just don't see it happening. I'm not trying to rain on nobody's parade, I'm just saying, I don't see it happening.
I understand what you're saying.
Thank you.
Representative Emerton, and then Representative Narkemy, then Representative Lambert.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to clarify some of the questions that I had spoken with the Attorney General about the nonprofit. She said that creating the nonprofit will have any funds that are donated to the Grisso revitalization nonprofit will continue to be only for that project. That's why creating the nonprofit for that property is the idea, to keep the money there. And if Attorney General, if I went wrong, just correct me, but that's what I understood, so it wouldn't be just, money that's coming in that somebody else can take.
I spoke with the treasurer, Mr. Larney. He says there's funds those funds would be just specifically delineated for the Grisso Mansion, and no one else can touch that.
Let's see, I believe you yield the floor, Representative Emerton? Yeah, it's Representative Narkemy, Chiaha, and then Representative Lambert.
That was, Representative Larney touched on an issue or a question I had, and that was the opioid money. Is the plan to still use part of the mansion itself for office for the opioid program?
Of course, a piece of the property, whichever one is determined, and we went over that at the last council meeting, I believe, 3 possible locations. Obviously, I believe that, how we work together as a nation and as programs is very vital to the success of anything that we may do. So obviously, we would go the direction that's least intrusive to what may be developed out of the Grisso in the future.
Okay.
That's my answer.
Okay.
But
Thank
definitely.
you very much.
It wouldn't be where it's at today if it wasn't for that program, as far as the finances is concerned. Representative Lambert?
I have the same questions that Representative Narkemy had, but I also was looking, what I'd really like to see in this, with this would have been your suggested board members and probably some structure to it a little bit more. So we'd have something to back up what we're voting on. Maybe who would be the board members, probably your bylaws or your proposed, what you think are going to be your bylaws or something like that. But I had the same questions that everybody else had as far as everything, but I also had asked if you guys had talked with the Attorney General whenever you were talking about this, and at the time you said that you had not talked to the Attorney General. With the Grisso Mansion LLC and all those other things, have those been I know there's no board there, there's nothing there. Have we, have we disestablished all of that stuff and then
I believe the term is dissolved.
Dissolved, have we dissolved it?
And that was done during the last administration. But what I will share with you is when the advisory board came and met with me, I suggested the same thing as far as reestablishment, to be able to be an entity, which would actually have to go through the council to undissolve it and put it back together again. Their ideas came through a nonprofit instead of going that route as far as their advice to the council. I still think, and this is probably a legal question really, Attorney General, the formation of the nonprofit should say how those board members are placed or nominated or however it may be. I don't know that you could do that this evening.
Yeah, and that's, I don't know, it could have been done before we had this, but is there also an LLC with it? Do we already have an LLC registered at the state for the Grisso?
I think the Grisso, the Grisso at one time had 2 different organizations, didn't they, within it? I mean, Ms. Lambert, you were involved in it. We were chartered here with the Seminole Nation BCR, and I thought there was a formation outside of the Seminole Nation as well. Is that not so?
No, we were only registered under the
Seminole BCR?
But
Well,
the
it's gonna
binary
still,
was
it's
what
gonna still be
registered.
lying there, you know?
Yeah.
But if that was to be resurrected, it would take this council's action to do it.
But, go ahead.
So to set up a nonprofit that's qualified under federal law also, we would probably need to set up a corporation and not an LLC. So there would be articles of incorporation filed with the BCR, and then we would have bylaws. And I think what we have going on is a chicken and the egg thing here. The advisory board doesn't know if they have the authority to do bylaws, and you guys want bylaws before you'll approve the board. But so the bylaws would say how the board is chosen, or this body can say how that board is chosen and delegate who that board is right now and tell them what to do. But after we do the articles and the bylaws and choose a board and determine how it's going to work, then we also have to file an IRS form to get it qualified. So there's an extra step with this one. And then I kind of want to clarify a question a minute ago since I'm up here. Under the Internal Revenue Code, like Chief was saying, Indian tribes can take tax deductible donations from anyone, but they are not actually nonprofits. So to a donor who wanted to give that $300,000, whether they give it to the tribe or to a nonprofit, they get to take a tax deduction. But if we set up the nonprofit that's specially designated, like the treasurer said, the funds would be secure there. And that gives donors a little bit more peace of mind, or however you want to say that. Did I answer? I don't know.
All these other stuff.
I still believe that the council has to vote on the resolution before them.
Yes.
Before that, a board can be established.
The council, yes, that's the resolution we have, but I'm just saying the council would have authority to change it.
Of course, that's the powers of the council.
Right.
And the other question was,
Pick one of
did we register this one at the state level? Did someone register this business at the state level? Because there is a business that exists at the state level, but it wasn't registered by the Grisso Mansion LLC, by the previous LLC.
There's still one out at the state level that's not dissolved?
I believe so. That's not, yeah.
That was the one I was referring to, because I understood, and I'm going back, my land's 13 years, I think, 12 years maybe, 13 now, from when it was first purchased. And what I can recall of measures, discussed on this council floor, I'm just going by memory.
Yeah.
That's why I said there's something else out there.
Yeah, it was not done by the previous board, the registration at the state level. It's my understanding that it was done by this administration, but yeah, so I mean.
If I may, there's one thing, since with all this discussion, which is, it's great, I'd like to hear all this discussion, it's wonderful. With the information that I'm receiving, like the chicken before the egg and all that, I think I agree that we need to develop a board first before we develop this 501(c)(3). So with that in mind, I'm going to withdraw this resolution. No?
He just got there saying he's gonna withdraw it, he's responsible for the bill.
All right.
I had my hand up for quite some time.
My hand up also.
But we keep people.
I'll stand by for now.
I'm just saying,
Okay, hold it, let's stop the dialogue.
Lay the ramrod at the meeting, please.
I'm not ramrodding it. She's
you
asking
are.
a question. I'm not even talking to the owner of the bill. I want to answer her question. She asked
Representative Pittman, you can't, and other council representatives, you can't talk across the floor to one another, okay? That's part of our order of the meetings. Representative Narcomi, you've got the original motion, seconded by Representative Petit. What is it that you desire to do at this moment?
I think the best thing for us to do is just to table it for now. Make that motion, ask for a second.
Okay, all right, there's a motion to table, and there's a second by Representative Hill, and there is no discussion on the table. Secretary, call the roll.
Deanna Sampson. Yes. Anthony Conley. Yes. John Narcome,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes?
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Rita Gonzalez, yes, Nancy Fixico,
Yeah.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
David Narcome,
Yes.
Joseph Billy, Dolores Harjo, Karen Fulbright,
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
Yes.
Tina Yeslet,
Yes.
Lottie Cootie,
Yes.
Vincent Lena,
Yes.
Richmond Larney,
Yes.
Wayne Shaw,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
Yes.
Charlie Hill,
Yes.
Tommy Chepko,
Yes.
Danito Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 26 yeses, 0 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 26 yes, 0 no, 0 abstention, I declare TR 2025-20 has been tabled. It will come back at the next council meeting. TR 2025-21. Representative Narcome?
I'd like to introduce a title resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma appointing Tommy Ray Bighead II, the Election Appeals Board. I know Mr. Bighead is a upstanding individual.
So let's wait till we get a second before we get into discussion. Do we have a
I ask for
second?
a second.
Second.
Okay, there's a motion to approve by Representative Narcome, second by his counterpart there, Representative Rena. Tiger. So the motion, now you have the floor, Representative Narcome, in discussion.
Just that I know he's an upstanding individual, and I think he'll make a great addition to this board. Thank you.
Okay, there's a motion and a second. Other discussion? Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do we have listed the requirements? All the requirements do our, I was just trying to look and see if we could see the, I see the applications, but I don't see the resumes or anything like that, but I see the applications. Just wanted to know what the clear qualifications were for the election board.
We're the
is it
clear
just volunteer?
the clear qualifications as far as the code is concerned. There's no specifics on criteria. There's no necessary education requirement for the election appeals board. As the chief of the nation, the 5 people that are before you are people of integrity, people of character, and people that actually will focus on Article 10 of the Constitution as well as the Code of Law and Title 10. And I do believe that they also are steadfast and they will not necessarily be bullied. And that means a lot when you come to tribal elections. And I would say this, and I'm behind the chair, but if I was hanging onto a rope over the ledge and they were, any of these 5 was on the other end, I would believe they would pull me up. They would try anyway. Maybe all 5 together. Hey, take that in consideration, all 5 together, good. All right, we're kind of having a little, okay, we got a motion and a second. This is for Tommy Bighead II. Oh, I'm sorry, Representative McCoy. Probably, it's difficult, to see hands, and I know because of the mics is on the desk, we haven't been standing, but that's really the form of of Title 16. Go right ahead, Representative McCoy.
I just wanted to know if these 5 individuals, if any of them are present tonight in the gallery.
No.
Okay.
I don't believe so. Anyone present from the election nominees for the Election Appeals Board? Okay, there's a motion and a second. No more discussion. This is TR 2025-21. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson. No. Anthony Conley. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
No.
Terry Edwards. No. Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
No.
David Narkemy.
No.
Joseph Billy.
No.
Dolores Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Sina Yeslith.
No.
Lottie Cootie.
No.
Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko.
No.
Danita Harjo.
No.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 10 yeses, 16 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 10 yes and 16 noes, 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2025-21 to have failed. TR 2025-22. Representative Tiger.
Thank you. A tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma appointing Eugenia Lena to the Election Board Appeals Board. I make the motion and ask for a second.
Second.
There's a motion by Representative Tiger, seconded by Representative Narkemy. We are in discussion. Representative Shaw.
Do we need to go any further? Because it says, right here, I've got the election appeal board code. The election appeal board shall be established to serve in the capacity required by the judicial body to conduct a ballot recount and to hear appeals regarding candidate, eligibility, further chapter 4 on hearing. The election appeal board shall be composed of 5 persons appointed by the chief and confirmed by the county. You've already lost 1, so you're not gonna be able to get 5.
Yeah.
The law says you shall, and the word shall is law. And so since it is that way, we can't get 5, so the rest of the questions are mute.
You can never fill a board. It's always no. We never can fill a board. And we need it.
Well, we should have put more, it should have put 5 people.
Everybody has their preferences, I understand.
Should have brought 7 or 8.
Usually, there has been precedents that has, in any of our boards, that give a certain amount that will be on the board's commissions or committees. If it's 5, then a quorum is 3. But that's a legal question, Attorney General. Representative Dethridge, then Representative Pittman, but
If we're voting on these individually, then maybe we get 3, and then, at a quarterly meeting, you've appointed 2 more, and we vote on them, and then we have 5. I mean, I don't think it says 5 simultaneously, it just says we're gonna have 5.
That's if they go to an interview. Yeah, it is. They like it, they like it. They like it.
Representative Pittman, then I'll let the Attorney General address it from a legal point of view.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My question would be, can we table these until all of them can be present? I think the reason why the first one failed is because the question was asked, are they here? We just want to see them and let them speak to us as to why they want to serve. So I don't think we should go through the motion of voting people down that
You know,
qualify.
Representative, with all due respect, Representative Pittman, we have laws in this nation, and we're attempting to follow those laws by getting the board in place before the filing period of the candidates. Everyone knows that the Election Appeals Board many times will have that one meeting to establish the officers, and they may not even have another meeting. I mean, unless there's a challenge or discrepancies within the election, or if a candidate's qualifications is maybe challenged, and there's a process to the appeal too. But it is by law, we need to have a board in place before the filing period.
My question was, can we have them present? I totally agree with you.
Why, so you can interrogate them and look at them, see if they wear the same kind of clothes that you wear?
No, I just.
I'm going to tell you right now, every one of these people.
Mr. Chairman, I still have the floor. My question was, can they be present? We're not challenging them as individuals without integrity or anything. I'm not insinuating that at all.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say,
I'm just saying if people
I'm going to
knew
go
they
out on a
were-
limb and say this.
If they knew they were being
I'm
appointed
going to go out
by
on
the
a
chair-
limb and say this.
No,
Know your community.
I'm saying, if we.
Every
as-
one of these people are community people.
I agree, but I'm saying if we're gonna appoint them and they're gonna be appointed by you and we respect you, can they be present so we can see them? That's what's the question. So if no one has an answer to that, I'm okay with that. I just wanted to see the people. So in order for me to know the community, I'd like for them to be present if they're gonna be appointed.
There's a motion and a second on the floor.
No, I'm just saying, you keep talking and you've never been recognized.
No, we're not going to have talking across the
She's
floor.
been talking to Shaw across the room and nobody challenged her.
I try to when I hear it.
So every time she want to say something, she says it.
Representative Pittman,
Just asking a question.
thank you for your comment. Thank
That's
you, sir.
all.
Thank you, miss.
I would have voted yes.
Representative, we do have a motion and a second. Representative Borba.
Is there any way that can be withdrawn so we can at least move ahead with the things that are on our agenda? I agree with Representative Dethridge that says that we can we've got one down, 4 more to go. If we can at least get those 4 in place, then we would only need 1 more if they pass. But like I said, this is something that we need, and we need to move forward, not backwards. If we get some on there tonight.
We have a motion and a second on the floor. There is a motion and a second on the floor. There is a motion and a second on the floor. There's no suggestions here. TR 2025-22. Representative, Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson.
No.
Anthony Conley.
No.
John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman. Terry Edwards. Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
No.
David Narkemy.
No.
Joseph Billy.
No.
Dolores Harjo.
No.
Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba. Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yeslith.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Henson Lena.
No.
Richmond Larney.
No.
Wayne Shaw.
Went on record saying yes, but no.
You said pick one? I apologize. What did you say?
I said yes, but under protest, I said no. So it's yes.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko,
No.
Danita Harjo,
No.
Willis Dethridge,
I'm voting with Wayne, yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 11 yeses, 13 noes, 2 abstain.
With the count of 11 yes, 13 no, I declare TR 2025-22 to have failed. Say that count again.
11, 13, and 2.
Okay, 11
13.
yes,
2.
13 noes, and 2 abstentions. TR 2025-23. Representative Lena.
Okay. A tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma appointing Dan Factor to the Election Appeals Board. I make the motion and ask for a second.
Second.
Who said second? Oh, he can have it. Okay. Motion by Representative Lena, second by Representative Larney. Representative Narkami Fusachi.
Thank you, sir. Just have one question about Mr. Dan Factor. Looking at his resume, it looks like he's on at least 3 committees. Yes. That might be a conflict. Would he be willing to resign from one of those committees to be on this board?
Right. I spoke with Dan today. Dan is willing to give up the BCR commission to serve in this capacity.
Thank you.
On the election board.
Thank you.
He had 2 other committees, but he chose that one. He's willing to give up 1 committee. I will say that for the record. He did discuss BCR. Okay, Representative Shaw.
I'm looking at this qualifications. It says experienced general contractor for the new construction of residential housing units. They said we couldn't work for the nation and hold these seats on the board. Nothing against him, but that's what he's got down here, that he's a general contractor for the housing authority, I guess.
No, he's not. He's on the Board of Commissions.
Well, but the thing is, Leo Fish.
Dan is on the Board of Commissions for the Housing Authority of Seminole Nation of Oklahoma. He's on the Board of Commissions.
Then, what's he a general contractor of?
I don't know that he's a general contractor for anything. He might.
For the new construction, is what it's got here, of residential housing units.
He was just given something that he's done in the past.
What?
He was stating something he has done in the past.
Then it needs to be that way, not right now. It says the new construction, that's now.
Now, I don't have any knowledge that Daniel Factor is a contractor.
Well, I'm just going by what it says on this resume, qualifications. I'm not making nothing up. I
see.
like Dan. He's my buddy, but the thing is, right is right. You jump on me, I'm gonna jump back.
Representative Larney.
New construction means building it from the ground up. That's what new construction means. Because you got rehabilitation, rehabs, remodels, and new construction means new homes from the ground up. That's what new construction means.
So he is a contractor.
Yeah, but doesn't mean now he's doing contracting now. That just means he's involved. He was involved in new construction, meaning from the ground up, brand new stuff.
In the past.
Yeah, in the past. Yeah, correct.
All right, there's a motion and second on the floor. Any other discussion on Dan Factor? If not, Secretary, call the roll. This is TR 2025-23.
Leetta Sampson.
No.
Anthony Conley. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
No.
Terry Edwards.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
No.
Dolores Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yeslith.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
No.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 17 yeses, 9 nos, 0 abstain.
With a count of 17 yes, 9 noes, and 0 abstention, I declare TR 2025-23 to have passed. TR 2025-24, Representative Fixico.
24, tribal resolution, Seminole, General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma, appointing Reverend Eric Zalaco to Election Appeals Board. I need a second.
Second?
There's a motion by Representative Fixico. Was that second by Representative Gonzalez? Second by Representative Gonzalez. Discussion. I see no hands raised. This is the tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma appointing Eric Zalaco to the Election Appeals Board. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson. No. Anthony Conley. No. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
No.
Terry Edwards.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy. Dolores Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
No.
Sina Yeslith.
No.
Lottie Cootie.
Yes.
Ensign Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
No.
Charlie Hill.
No.
Tommy Chupko.
No.
Danita Harjo.
No.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 14 yeses, 12 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 14 yes, 12 no, 0 abstention, I declare TR 2025-24 to have passed. TR 2025-25, Representative Holataharjo.
A tribal resolution of the General Council of the Seminole Nation of Oklahoma appointing Russell Johnson to the Election Appeals Board. I make the motion and ask for a second.
Second.
Motion made by Representative Harjo and seconded by Representative Chupko. Discussion? No discussion. We are on TR 2025-25. This is appointing Russell Johnson to the Election Appeals Board. Secretary, call the roll.
Leetta Sampson. No. Anthony Conley. No. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
No.
Terry Edwards.
No.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Fixico.
Yes.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy.
No.
Dolores Harjo.
No.
Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba,
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert,
No.
Sina Yeslith,
No.
Lottie Cootie, Henson Lena,
Yes.
Richmond Larney,
Yes.
Wayne Shaw,
Yes.
Catherine McCoy,
No.
Charlie Hill,
No.
Tommy Chupko,
Yes.
Danita Harjo,
Yes.
Willis Dethridge,
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 16 yeses, 10 noes, 0 abstain.
With a count of 16 yes, 10 noes, and 0 abstentions, I declare TR 2025-25 to have passed. Attorney General, the question was brought up about the board being 5. Obviously, on a lot of boards, it is that number. I think the emphasis was put on shall be 5. And I know when you're saying may or shall, there are differences in law. So can you explain that? If the total is 5, is there a quorum of 3, or does all the board have to be there for them to even meet? We're going to other business right after this.
The law says, it does say, the election appeals board shall be composed of 5 persons appointed, and so there need to be 5 appointed. The law is silent as to what a quorum is, so we could look through the other codes of law, but for most practical purposes, we say that 3 is a quorum. We probably need to keep going until we get 5 appointed. However, we do that June 1st. I think that's before the election, so we should try to get that done. But the law, this particular board is silent on what a quorum is. So under normal rules, that would be 3. So right now, we only have 3, so if someone's sick or something happens, we don't have enough people for a quorum, so we need more. Is that the answer to the question? Okay.
Well, one thing, there's something.
I got a question.
Oh, Representative Dethridge.
Could you read that very first sentence again about the appointments?
About what?
About the appointment?
The election appeals board shall be composed of 5 persons appointed by the chief and confirmed by the general counsel at a duly called general council meeting.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Well, Mike, of course, my concern is this, that tribal law also states that, that before the filing period, that they will gather to select officers such as the chairman, vice chair, and treasurer, and secretary. And that's a very much concern of mine at this point. Representative Dethridge.
Nico, I would advise you to go ahead and appoint about 2 more, so we could confirm those to where, because the law says there shall be 5.
Yeah, and the law also just said what I said. Can we meet that deadline before the April filing period? Am I going to have another council meeting before the filing period?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, just like you said earlier, these people may not ever be needed. But the law does say there shall be 5 appointed by and confirmed by the council. So we got 3, we need 2 more, Miko.
I know we need 2 more, but what I'm saying is that the law also says that first meeting will be before the filing period, and also they will select officers at that first meeting, if it's the only meeting they have. Well, I'm going to follow that law, and if I need to call another council meeting before the filing period, then I will. And I'll make sure you get the nominations out, and they'll be here, whoever those nominations may be. Representative Lambert.
Can we do a verbal? Can we do some, is there anybody that I know that there were more applications or more resumes submitted than
Just one.
that were here.
Just one other. I'm willing to do it by the way the book says, and would probably need to bring, and that nomination can be considered, but I do think that we need to try to make the timeline. So I'll do, as the chairman of the council, what I need to do, okay? That's just the law. Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Can you give us the date of the law, the filing period date?
This year?
You said
Somebody got that posting, I think it's like third week of April.
third week of April. So then we would need to meet so that we would meet the criteria. No, I'm just.
If we're gonna follow the whole law,
Right.
we need 5 in place, okay?
But
So
you
that they
want
can
them in
have their
place
first meeting before the filing period.
before the filing period. And the filing period is when? The 21st
Of April.
of April.
It used to be in May, but remember, it's in April. This last 2021 started an April filing for candidates. Okay, let's move on. We're in other business. And since Dr. Caban is still here, let's take care of his situation, then we'll go into executive session for the business that you stated, Representative Narkemy. And because the people will have to leave the gallery, so that will be the last item of discussion for this evening, is the SINDOC. Did it come back on?
Everybody hear me okay? Use my teacher voice. All right, I gotta make it happen.
Well, it's good to have the mic, though, because it's being recorded.
Maybe somebody that's smarter than me can figure this out.
Is she still in here?
It's on?
Is it green?
No.
Is it?
I wonder if the battery might have died.
Might have died.
Show me that one over there.
Grab that one there.
There you go.
Hello, hello. Okay, hello? I think that's working.
It is.
Okay. So, the last time that I was here, at the previous council meeting, we were having a discussion about a grant known as the REAP grant. At that time, my intention was to submit the application with the hopes of getting the grant approved and being able to come back to you all with good news. Since then, I've ran about every range of emotion because on the last day of the year, we were notified that we had received the grant. The grant comes in the form of a $1 million reimbursement, which would significantly offset the cost of the solar farm. Our intention was to move forward full steam ahead to continue the project just like we had planned until about 1/13, I believe was the date, when President Trump released an executive order that essentially froze those obligated funds. So, at that point in time, we did not know whether or not those funds would be released or not. We had to rely on the rule of law, which says that if the federal government has an obligation, they must uphold that obligation. But we did not know until yesterday when we received the communication that I gave to you earlier, which was the third page of the 4 pages. And essentially what that communication said was we have 2 options. The first option is to do nothing. And if we do nothing, odds are high that we will still receive the award that we had got at the end of last year. No, not eventually. The award, the way that it's set up, is after the solar farm gets connected, 30 days later, we would get reimbursed. So it's a pretty solid time frame after the solar farm gets installed. What we did not expect was that President Trump would allow us to potentially suggest changes to the grant. Okay? And knowing what I think I know about President Trump, he would prefer us to change something as to not, just so he can put his name on this being a President Trump deal. Okay, but all of that aside, I want to talk quickly about the economics of the proposed location and what I will call the ideal location. So if everyone would look at the map that I passed out earlier on the 4th page, on your map I've outlined the Miccosukee Mission as well as the 29-acre property. And on that map, I have put the location of the proposed solar field. This solar field is about 1.25 acres, and it is a 500 kilowatt solar field comprising of just less than 1,000 solar panels. Okay. Once we found out the grant was frozen, I wanted to look for other ways in order to bring this project to a reality, with or without the grant. So I began to do more research into the electrical usage here at the Miccosukee Mission with the help of Chief and Councilman Dethridge. And throughout that process, we found out that the Miccosukee Mission uses about $118,000 worth of electricity each year, spread out over about 15 or 16 meters. Okay. The solar field that was going at the proposed location would offset 97% of the electricity use at the Miccosukee Mission. So me, being an economics professor, I'm always interested in connecting supply to demand. So the solar field is the energy supply, and the Miccosukee Mission is the energy demand. And by moving the solar field closer to the mission, we are able to significantly cut the total cost that would be required with running the lines that would connect the solar field to the meters at the mission. As a crow flies, it's about 1.5 miles, and the cost to run that line could be anywhere from $400,000 to $700,000, just based upon whether we bury it or run it above ground. Okay? One of the potential problems with a longer line is more exposure. With more exposure, you have the opportunity for more things to go wrong. So on the map here, I have marked what would be the ideal location for the solar field. Now, this location is strictly ideal based upon economics and nothing else. This location is located literally behind us at the corner of 59. And the reason that this is the ideal location is that is where the service enters in to the mission, and the location we could tie directly into that service without having to run any additional line. Okay? So the economics shift substantially when energy supply and energy demand are connected. So in the best case scenario, what my big picture goal is to secure the new market tax credits along with the grant that I've already secured. That way, the Seminole Nation and Symbiotic can partner, right? But in this partnership, we're going to go out and find all the money that allows the Seminole Nation to come in and partner as well. The goal would then be to reduce the electricity cost on the mission to as close to zero as we could. And with working with each of the individual meters or budgets, depending on who pays the electricity, we could guarantee them cost savings in an escalating manner without them having to spend $1 through monetizing those cost savings. So let's just pretend in a perfect world, we partnered 50-50. I was able to secure $1 million worth of tax credits. We put that with the $1 million that we're going to be bringing to the project. In that instance, we would build this solar field at no cost. And for the next 30 years, would experience $118,000 worth of savings that would probably escalate at about 3 to 5% per year, just based upon the price of electricity. So not only is this a solid way to cut costs, but there's also the opportunity to generate additional revenue. Okay? We would only be using about 1/3 of the capacity of the solar field to power the mission, which would mean any excess electricity could then be sold back to OG&E. Now, that's not the best proposition because they pay you much less on a buyback agreement, but that extra capacity here at the mission would also allow growth at the mission to where new buildings coming online would be able to experience the benefit of those electricity savings from day one. So with that, I'll take questions.
I have one.
Go ahead.
Okay, it sounds great and all, but my main concern is, are there any health risk for the residents in this area or the employees that will be surrounding this area?
I can't say definitively because I'm not a physician, okay? But I do not believe that there are any more health risks associated with a solar field than any of the other power lines that run and feed this mission or that we're exposed to every day.
Okay, I saw Representative Gonzalez, and then we'll come around to Representative Petit.
You mentioned the power lines. Are they going to be underground or overhead?
So it depends, okay? And it depends on where we decide to put the final location of the solar. If we're looking at proposed location, going underground can be very cost prohibitive. So we would most likely start that economic analysis looking overhead. The problem with overhead or above ground is exposure to the weather. Right? So you've got 6 in one hand, half dozen in the other. The benefit of moving closer to the mission, not even necessarily to ideal, right? I just put ideal on there to show you best case scenario. Every foot that we get closer to ideal, we experience cost savings. So that's why I wanted to show you the difference in the two. At ideal, we don't have any line to run, right? The solar field connects directly to the meter.
Okay, I had Representative Petit, and then we'll come to you, Representative Pittman.
Okay, as far as cosmetics, I guess, you're talking about looking at on this highway frontage right here, like on the other side of this wellness center?
So that would be ideal. And so the flip side of the cosmetic argument is we could also go out into a wooded area, clear some space, and put it to where no one ever saw the solar field, right? As long as it was closer to ideal. My deal, personally, is when I got a cash cow, I want to be reminded of it. You want to see your cash cow. And so for me personally, you kind of have that trade-off of being reminded that the tribe is moving towards green energy and energy sufficiency compared to the eyesore versus not being able to see it and still reaping those benefits.
Well, I think the cosmetic part can be overcome in just a few years. You could plant some trees along there you know, to the frontage to the highway there. I'm not sure if there is even trees there located right now, but you could put something like that up there, and even to cover it from the visual from this part of the mission, you could do that somewhat that way right there too. Now, my other question is what is the life expectancy of these solar panels, and what's the maintenance cost associated with this?
Yeah, so the life expectancy of the solar panels is 30 years currently, and the maintenance and insurance costs are built into the purchase price.
Okay. I'm glad you mentioned insurance because, you know, are they susceptible to hail damages and stuff like that that would cause replacement needs?
There is nothing that is Oklahoma weatherproof, okay? But they're rated to withstand golf ball size hail and have withstood more than that. But with the insurance, whatever panels would go down, we would be able to replace.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. He took my question, but also, can you tell us what the lifespan of the insurance policy is? And after the 30 years of the material, are we coming back with a new proposal? Or are we able to just replace what we need as it goes?
Yeah, so no, I would expect that the solar panels will continue to produce for longer than 30 years. The question becomes their efficiency at that point in time and whether or not it would make economic sense to improve them for their efficiencies. And in terms of the insurance, I'm not sure. I'll go back and double check on that, but I'm pretty sure it ran throughout the life of the 30-year depreciable term of the solar panels.
And for context, you said 1 acre?
Yeah, 1.25 acres.
Which equates to how many square feet for their context?
Okay, I think 4,400 square feet is an acre, I believe.
So you're around 200 by 200.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
208 feet by 208 feet.
There you go.
That's not very far.
Right.
It's very small. Okay.
It's a very small
footprint.
When you really think about it, it's kind of insane, right? I mean, it's a very small area that can provide all the power. Additionally, that 97% figure that I threw out is guaranteed as well.
Representative Lambert.
Okay, can you give us a dollar figure on what we would be saving a year on utility bills? I mean, you just estimated about how much we draw. Can you give us
$118,000 a year.
$118,000 a year. So over 30 years, that is $3 million, right?
Correct.
Is that right? And so I think you guys have both been to Florida. I mean, I'm sorry, both of the chiefs have been to Florida, and they're doing very well with solar panels and in their programs right now at the Seminole Nation of Florida, and it has not only saved them millions of dollars, but they've also got credits because what they're putting back into. I mean, what they're saving. So they're saving and invest. Is that right?
100%. So in this instance, right, about a third of the usage would go to replace energy, which is great because you replace at 12 cents per kilowatt hour, give or take. Okay. The rest would be sold back at about 3 cents per kilowatt hour. So they pay you a reduced rate, but it still generates revenue on the excess energy production. The best thing to do is to figure out a way to economically use the energy, right? So my thought would be, with the cost savings, you look at installing a unit at another location, right? And it's just like renting a house. Like you get the rent from one house and you go pay to buy another, and you use that rent to pay the mortgage, right?
Right.
And we do that at this location and at this location and at that location, and we multiply those benefits.
So if we were let's just say if we were borrowing the money, and the savings would be more than an annual payment on that same amount of money that we would, like if we were to borrow the money and amortize it out for like 20, 30 years, the money that we're saving per year is more then the loan, then we would be paying on a loan for a year.
Oh, sure.
So, yeah.
And so that's why the grant and the tax credits, when you put those two things together and get to avoid the loan and the interest, the economics on this thing.
It far outweighs anything that we could put into it, to be honest. I mean.
Well,
Yeah.
we could essentially build it at no cost, which would mean on day one.
And if we're looking at sovereignty, this is a way that we can become energy sovereign. It would be our first steps towards becoming sovereign, to be, to be producing our own energy for our own purposes without the grid.
100%, you'd still be tied to the grid.
Yep.
So when you have, days that are cloudy, or if something is malfunctioning for whatever reason, we still have power.
Yeah.
Right? But on most
We're
days.
not dependent on it all the time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so what I've come to learn over the past 10 years is that food sovereignty and energy sovereignty are hand in hand. And to produce food, it takes energy. And it's a whole lot easier to monetize energy savings than it is heads of lettuce. So if I can monetize energy savings to afford to grow heads of lettuce, that's how we farm, right? So at the end of the day, all this for me is a means to start generating dollars so we can start growing food without coming to ask you guys for money.
Okay, Representative Pittman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Maybe Chief can answer this for us. We have a parcel of land in Oklahoma City. Have we confirmed the size of it, and will we be using that piece of land that the Seminole Nation owns to do some of this with? Is that a consideration?
Not with this particular project, but something to consider. It's definitely something that could be considered in the future.
Yeah, and we can run the same analysis that we ran on the mission for every building the Seminole Nation owns. And it doesn't have to be a ground mount unit. We can go on to rooftops at other locations. The reason why the ground mount unit is attractive at the Miccosukee Mission is because there's multiple buildings that don't have enough rooftop in order to support the load. So by using the ground mount, we're able to offset the load.
So if we don't have to build it at all on the property in Oklahoma City, we can just use ground mount too?
Sure.
Do you know of any other tribes that are using this grid system?
Yeah, so what I'm talking about is the start of something called a Tribal Energy Authority, okay? And that could be one of the roles that the new market tax credit entity plays, okay? And the Muskogee Creek Nation has entities set up, and I've been working pretty closely with the individual that set it up to kind of help guide us on this. They'd be the one that I know firsthand that have looked at doing something like this.
Is there a big like solar farm down where the Nation that everyone knows,
Maybe so. I head back southeast, so I don't head that way too often.
Yeah, the Chickasaws do have. Representative Gonzalez.
I was just curious if I'm referring to the chair, CINDOC had a program that they were discussing in regards to the same thing. And I know it's supposed to be out there by IHS.
Correct.
But there also were considering here on the mission. Now,
That didn't get approved.
that didn't get approved.
No.
But the studies that were made, or was there studies made?
Yes.
And so was that considered with this project also?
They used newer numbers than what that was. That would have been 21, well, it would have been like maybe 20 numbers to 21, so the usage would have been down compared to today.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah, we ran the analysis over the past 2 years of bills, so the most recent bills.
Representative Lambert.
What action are we needing to take, or what are we?
So I can provide a little bit of guidance to that. So with the executive order, we had 30 days from yesterday in order to request changes for the grant. So that means from today, we have 29 days in order for us to submit a change of location request. Okay? and do all the paperwork that would be associated with that change of location request.
The original resolution is restrictive on the location to the property east of here.
So, so can we make a verbal resolution? So I'm making a verbal resolution, or motion to make a verbal resolution to make the changes, to bring that, as mentioned on here. Can we, how do we word that so we can get this right? As Attorney General, how would we word that?
Do we need, what's the?
Verbal
we need
resolution.
to amend, or do you want to make a whole new resolution?
To make it, well, would we amend it? Or how would we do that? I would rather,
May I?
go ahead.
What do you need? What do you need?
I would say don't amend, okay, because we still have opportunity there as well.
Okay.
That's my gut, but I don't want to, seem like I'm asking for too much, right?
Yeah.
I would say limit whatever you wanted to move here currently to the size of the solar field, right? And then we can still plan the farm at the other location. That's not a big deal if we don't want to look at doing that here too, because I don't want to, throw out the baby with the bathwater.
And the verbal doesn't need to be restrictive to just the location south of here, but just the mission grounds, just in case there's a different location within
So what are
here.
you suggesting our resolution to say, or what do you?
If we expanded the location to have the authority to do it in either place, that would be great. We don't know for sure whether Trump will approve the request, but the good thing about it is they will not take points away. So the request cannot hurt us.
Okay.
So if it was me, if I said what we needed, we would need to have the resolution amended to include the Miccosukee Mission as a potential location.
Or a new resolution to include, yeah.
Yes, or
Make
A new
motion
resolution to include.
Yeah, in consideration of the old resolution, can we look up that number and then say to also include?
It would need to reference.
Yeah, it would need to reference it, yeah. To include the 1 acre portion of land at the Miccosukee Mission.
I'd say 1 acre, give or take. That way there's a little.
1 plus or minus 1 acre.
Yeah, we could put
Yeah.
2 just in case you want a fence around it.
Yeah, okay. 2, yeah. And then Attorney, or Val, are you getting that?
Right.
Okay, okay.
So, Kevin, what do you need to submit with the grant if we're gonna make a change? A new resolution or the amended resolution, or what do you need?
I'll just need to submit a request.
So the resolution is simply our process is being followed to allow him to make the changes.
So as of right now, the resolution only allows the solar field to go on proposed.
Okay.
Okay, we need the resolution to be amended or expanded to allow it to go somewhere on the mission, I think would
So
be.
would we need to rescind and replace, or would we
No.
just additional? Okay.
Yeah, because in the instance that Trump says no, we're still gonna put
We
it
still
over
have the
there,
other,
right,
okay,
right?
Okay. Okay. Expand, okay.
Right. The original resolution is restrictive to the location.
Yes.
Okay, yes. So.
And so that is-
That is my motion.
Okay.
And I asked for a second.
Can you state your verbal motion?
Verbal resolution is to reference the previous resolution when we get that number. In reference to the previous resolution, where at the application for our, what is it, REAP?
Yes.
REAP application, that we also include for consideration of 2 acres at the mission property, and then give the location for this.
Up to 2 acres.
2 acres, yeah, up to 2 acres. Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah, so that is the sell to Trump, right?
And the resolution
process.
The resolution doesn't need to state that. It just needs to give him
The authority,
We're just
yes.
granting him the authority to make those changes. I mean, he could have done it with
Yeah.
secret, but he's following our process, right?
Second,
So we have a verbal resolution. Do I have a second? We got a second. Representative Petit, did you?
That was just, my recommendation to her was just expand the location.
Right.
But the other question I have at this time now is, are we aware of any easements or encroachments on that particular piece of property right now?
No, and that's what we avoid by coming over to this location. If you look at proposed, we have to either have 1.5 miles of highway right away, or we have to go through 4 property owners. So you know what's going to happen when you get to the last one.
Well, I agree, the ideal situation.
Other than the
would be to have
utility
on our property.
easements, there's nothing over there.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Did we ever come up with the TR number yet?
It's a verbal.
No, the TR number that we're amending.
Yes, we got a motion and a second. She can come in and
Do we know
reference.
what the resolution number was that we passed previously?
She can come in and reference it.
I'm pretty sure it was 2020 TR 2024-48. 48.
Verbal.
Somebody may double. That's.
We can come in and fill the language in later. But yeah. It's a $1 million verbal of savings.
So we just did it in this past fiscal.
That's correct. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you got me, and dash 48.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. We understand the language.
Okay.
Secretary, please call the roll.
Leetta Sampson. Anthony Conley. John Narkemy.
Yes.
Rena Tiger.
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman.
Yes.
Terry Edwards.
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez.
Yes.
Nancy Pixico. Nancy Pixico.
Yeah.
Leon Petit.
Yes.
David Narkemy.
Yes.
Joseph Billy. Delois Harjo. Karen Fulbright.
Yes.
Ann Borba.
Yes.
Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yesley.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Abstain.
Charlie Hill.
Abstain.
Tommy Chepko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 24 yeses, 0 nos, 2 abstain.
Count of 24 yes, 0 no, 2 abstentions. The verbal resolution has passed. Representative,
What is that TR number?
so it's a verbal, it'll be issued. Be 24 yes, 0 no, and 2 abstentions. So are you raising your,
Yeah.
24, 0, and 2.
24, 0, and 2?
24, 0, and 2. I only have 2 abstentions. Yeah, I got Charlie and Catherine represented. I thought they said yeses. Oh, okay, okay.
Okay, we're making the corrections. Thank you for pointing that out. So it's going to be 22, 0, and 4.
Yes, yeah.
22, 0, 4 abstains.
Okay.
Okay, let's get this going.
Okay. So that concludes our new business. We had other business added in which we're going to enter executive session. So we have a motion to move into executive session and a second. By consensus, is there any objections? So we're going to take a moment, we'll get prepped, and we'll be in executive session as soon as She can. This one? Yeah, she knows. For executive session. You have to-
Oh, you mean leave?
Yeah, whenever you get your caught up with whatever.
Okay.
I think everybody. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
And then I have.
Okay.
The 10 o'clock hour has now been extended to 10:15.
Okay. I make a motion that the Office Attorney General initiate a formal investigation into the Division of Commerce. This investigation should thoroughly examine financial practices, budgeting procedures, and leadership and organizational accountability. Do I have a second?
Back to that 2011 year.
Yeah, why not?
Say
Yeah.
it, you gotta say it.
Yeah, back to the 2011 year. Okay. Come on, man, get out there. Let's go.
Okay.
You already got it.
Everybody? Okay. Okay.
How
I think
can I
she was-
do a 14-year audit in 30 days? Just do your best.
It's called a review.
3 years.
It's called a
What
review,
are-
not an audit. A review. Investigation, make it a review. Yeah, make it easy on you to get us the information, because if it's not available, you can say it was not available.
But we have annual financials too, don't we?
No sleep for you.
Don't tell my story today. She got a team, there's another guy that comes in next. But if it's an audit, it's gonna take longer.
All right.
They don't need an audit.
There's a motion and a second already on the floor. Let's go.
All right. Call it.
You wrote it down.
Huh?
You wrote it down, right?
Yes.
Okay, Attorney General's got it written down.
What did you, read us what you wrote down.
Well, he said a motion to investigate the financials, the budget, and the leadership structure back to 2011, and then I made a face, and then he said back 3 years, and then someone said do a business practice review, and then, and look at the annual financials. But he's got it all written down right there, so I can take what he has written down.
No, I think continuity of the whole structure of our Division of Commerce should go back to 2011.
I agree. Okay, but.
You made that in his motion, though. Yes, I did. He did.
Continuity of the structure, okay, but not a financial.
Yes. He let him read it again, so you'll know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Just give me that and I will do it.
I'll walk it over.
We will get it in the motion.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Man.
Okay. We got it. You can't.
Okay, we got a motion and a second. Representative Markham.
Thank you, finally. If Mr. Larney would accept the friendly amendment, we had a time limit, I think, that has not been mentioned on this. So we're giving it, what, 30 days for this report? Is that okay?
Until it's completed.
Yeah.
She said she'll come back in 30 days and give you something.
With the preliminary report.
Yes.
And then you can decide if you want to go deeper or tell me something else to do.
Yeah.
Or we can decide whether we want to resolve the thing in 30 days.
Yeah, we can do that too.
I'm waiting 29 and a half days.
29 and a half days.
Call for the question.
Is it?
Call
Secretary call the roll.
Leetta Sampson,
Yes.
Anthony Conley,
Yes.
John Narkemy,
Yes.
Rena Tiger,
Yes.
Anastasia Pittman,
Yes.
Terry Edwards,
Yes.
Ida Gonzalez,
No.
Nancy Fixico,
No.
Leon Petit,
Yes.
David Narkemy,
Yes.
Joseph Billy, Dolores Harjo, Karen Fulbright. Ann Borba. Stephanie Lambert.
Yes.
Sina Yeslith.
Yes.
Lottie Cootie. Henson Lena.
Yes.
Richmond Larney.
Yes.
Wayne Shaw.
Yes.
Catherine McCoy.
Abstain.
Charlie Hill.
Abstain.
Tommy Chepko.
Yes.
Danita Harjo.
Yes.
Willis Dethridge.
Yes.
Desiree Emerton.
Yes.
I have 18 yeses, 4 nos, 4 abstain.
With a count of 18 yes, 4 noes,
And 4
and
abstain.
4 abstentions, I declare that, that measure to have passed.
Second.
I've got a couple of announcements. That concludes the agenda that was established. Representative Shaw. Representative Shaw.
We're doing all this, but we're gonna suspend them without paying bills.
The motion was cleared. We discussed everything in executive session, and that fulfills the agenda. There is a grand ribbon cutting at the Boys and Girls Club of the Seminole Nation, April the 24th. Some of you probably got an invitation, I would think, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. So that's a great achievement over the years for that organization. Also, I will let you know this, that the tenure of the United States Treasury with correspondence, probably with everybody, obviously is a little different than what it was previously. So we do know that they have the Division of Government Efficiency. I believe that they are checking on CARES and ARPA, just like we thought that they would. PPP as well. Okay. We're receiving. Okay. Motion and a second to adjourn.
Second.
Yes, we will pray as we stand, please. Our gracious, Terry Edwards, lead us in prayer if you would, sir.
Okay. Well, dear Heavenly Father, we give thanks for this opportunity to come here and do business, dear Lord. We want to pray for our great Seminole nation, dear Lord. We want to pray for the leaders of our nation, dear Lord. We want to pray for the leaders of our country, dear Lord. We want to pray for all those who are sick and ill, dear Lord. We want to pray for those who are in bereavement, dear Lord. We especially want to pray for our children, dear Lord. We pray that we could all be good examples to them, dear Lord, that we could lead them in the right direction, dear Lord, and we could be helpful to their structure to becoming young adults, dear Lord. Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.